families, and friends. Welcome to Seiberling's 2015 Black History Program, featuring our choir and our students playing the roles of famous African Americans throughout the history. Please enjoy the program.
But then you're coming back to this spot. Only 6th grade, go to the center. So you guys get only one for singing last rock. Everybody else, they're coming back, so don't get excited. Let Gregory in, take the 6th grade. You're going back to that spot. Perfect, Desmond. Okay, ready, give me your hitch.
Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Who's that yonder dressed in red? It must be the children that Moses led. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord.
Watch the coins and move that 6th grade. Move back over. All the way over. Right. Go.
Accident. Jonah Truth, also born a slave. I was given the slave name Isabella Bonfrey. In 1827, for the Emancipation Act became law, I escaped. I had a spiritual encounter with God. This is when I shed my slave name and took on the name Sojourner Traveler Truth. I helped define womanhood in a way that embraced African American women's experiences as well as addressing issues of gender, race, and class. No one helps me open my petals or into carriages or gives me any best place. Ain't I a woman?
Sojourner Truth. Hi, I'm Harriet Tubman. I'm best known for the conductor of the Underground Railroad. My life is dedicated to freedom. I was born a slave. I led more than 300 slaves out of slavery. Can you believe infuriated slave masters offered a $40,000 reward for my capture, dead or alive? I am the only woman to have led U.S. Army troops in the battle during the Civil War with Union soldiers. I also served the Union as a nurse, a scout, and a spy. They call me Moses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, I'm Muhammad Ali. Joe, I'm Muhammad Ali. I'm the greatest. I have lightning quick speed, agile footwork, and a lethal left jab. We have being quick and calm. We lost 5 times and have 56 victories in the ring. My colorful phrase is float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Being able to spout and predict the route in which I will vanquish my opponent. Later made me a folk hero. I am one of the most recognized and popular boxers on the globe. I am the greatest.
Muhammad, I am so proud to meet you. I am Joe Lewis during the Depression and World War II. I opened Africans Needed a Hero. I am a heavyweight boxing champion. I am the first crossover hero, beloved by both blacks and whites. I opened up professional sports to other African Americans. This made me immortal. I am known as the Brown Bomber. I coined the phrase, he can run, but he can't hide. My style of boxing is quick, two-fisted attack. I defended my weapon 25 times.
You're good. Okay, you're fine. Okay, you ready? You two hold that right here. Okay, stop. You're ready.
was asked by a bus driver to give up my seat to a white man that entered after me. I had worked very hard that day and I was tired. I refused to give up my seat and I was arrested and taken to jail. My refusal to give up my seat sparked a movement against segregation in Montgomery, which started a 381-day bus boycott by African Americans. In the 1950s, I became the secretary of the Montgomery branch of the NAACP. I am named the Mother of Civil Rights Movement. I am a guiding symbol in the struggle for Black equality.
Rosa, I am Susan B. Anthony, a suffragist, an abolitionist, an author, a speaker, and the president of the National American Suffrage Association. I have devoted my time to social issues. I am inspired to fight for women's rights. In 1892, I illegally voted in the president's election and was arrested. I unsuccessfully fought the charges. I was fined $100, which I never paid. Thank you.
Go to the next one, the other two are not here.
Them that's got shall have, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible said, and that still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, so God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Aretha, I am Billie Holiday, a legendary jazz singer with a small voice that has influenced and inspired generations of musicians. I sung at small nightclubs in Brooklyn and Harlem. I am known as Lady Day. I became so popular that at the end of the 1940s, I was given a chance to make a movie, but was disgusted to have to play the part of a maid. Billie. I am Aretha Franklin. I'm known as the Queen of Soul. I come from strong gospel roots. I started out singing in a church choir. At the age of 14, I recorded my first album. I have received many honors and awards. Billie, did you know I'm adored by generations of fans much like you are? I have the ability to infuse my songs with great passion and conviction. One of my all-time greatest hits is Respect. All I want you to do for me is respect. R-A-S-B-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-A-S-B-E-C-T. Just a little respect. Thank you.
1947, I became a Brooklyn Dodger and the first black player in Major League Baseball. In fact, I led the integration of professional athletes in America. I was named Rookie of the Year in 1947 and the National League MVP in 1949. We won the World Series in 1955 with a batting average of .311. In 1962, I became the first black player to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Jackie, I am Sasha Page. I began playing baseball in the Negro Leagues. And finally, thanks to you, I finally broke into the Major League as a rookie pitcher in 1956 when I was 42. In 1957, I became the oldest baseball player in Major League history. I was invited into the Hall of Fame of baseball. Like I always say, work like you don't need the money, and love like you've never been hurt. And then like nobody is watching. Thank you.
Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my heart stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my soul stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Walk, talk, sing, shout, clap my hands. I got my mind on freedom. Walk, talk, sing, shout, clap my hands. Got my mind on freedom. Walk, talk, sing, shout, clap my hands. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my heart stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my soul stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Me from my pagan land, that tell my Bernardo soul to understand that there's a God, that there's a Savior too. Once a redemption neither saw nor knew, some view our civil race with a scornful eye. Remember Christians, Negroes black as Cain, maybe refined the angelic train. Welcome, Langston. I'm Philia Sweetly, the mother of African American literary tradition. I'm the first black to publish a book and only the second woman in the United States to publish a book of poetry.
Fearless, I enjoyed your poetry about injustice. I am Langston Hughes, one of the most important voices of the Harlem Renaissance. I published more than 60 dramas, scores of operas, anthologies of 2 other black writers, and 2 autobiographies. I was given the nickname Busboy Poet. I would like to recite this poem for you. That justice is a blind goddess to which we black our lies. Her bandage hides 2 freshman scores that once perhaps were eyes. Thank you.
Cohen, I am pleased to meet such an amazing man. I'm Thurgood Marshall, America's first African-American Supreme Court Justice. Also the most successful lawyer arguing cases before the High Courts. For 25 years prior to joining the High Courts, I am the most important advocate for America. I won 29 arguments before the Supreme Court. My record is unmatched by any lawyer, black or white. On May 17, 1954, after I presented my side to the Supreme Court, it handed down its epic decision in Brown versus Board of Education. The ruling stated that segregation in public schools was unconstitutional, separate, but not equal, has no place in American society.
Good evening, Supreme Court Justice Marshall. I am Colin Powell. I was the first African American National Security Advisor under President Ronald Reagan in 1987. I held the highest military position, Chairman of the Joint Chief of State. After the 2000 election, I was appointed Secretary of State under President George W. Bush. As a black man, I am one of the most powerful men in the United States. I served both Bush presidents during my military service. I earned 2 Purple Hearts.
Then, you guys keep on with this train. You guys keep up. Everybody.
This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, if you ride you must be holy. This train is bound for glory, this train. Swing low, sweet chariot, it's coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, if you ride it, you must be holy. This train is bound for glory, this train home.
Mary, I'm Oprah Winfrey. I may be best known as a 25-year host of the Oprah Winfrey Show, but I've also been a radio and a TV broadcaster, an actress, and a producer. In 2011, I launched my own television network. I was also published my own magazine. I am an activist for children's rights, and I've raised over $51 million for charitable programs such as education for girls in South Africa and relief to victims of natural disasters. In 2002, I became the first recipient of Bob Hope Humanitarian Award. Global magazine listed me as the richest African American of the 20th century and the world's only black billionaire 3 years running. Life magazine called me the most influential woman of my generation. In 2013, I received our nation's highest civil honor of the Presidential Medal of Freedom for my contributions to America. I'm still working to accomplish it. So, thank you.
I am Mary Jr., the best known as the founder of Motown Records, the most successful black-owned company in the history of the United States. At that time, my goal was to reach across the racial divide with music that could touch all people, regardless of the color of their skin. Motown Records recorded songs from artists including Stevie Wonder, the Jackson 5, and Michael Jackson. In 1988, I was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That same year, I sold Motown, a company I had started with only $700 for $61 million. Thank you.
Cosmetologist. Yeah. Cosmetologist. Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Okay, what is it?
Madam CJ, you have done a wonderful thing for a woman. I'm Jill Preston Carver. I'm a black scientist who revolutionized farming in the South of crop. Combinations and used it for peanuts and sweet potatoes. In 1894, I received a bachelor's degree in agricultural science, and a few years later, a master's degree. The same year, the Supreme Court decision declared separated but equal unconstitutional. I became the first black staff member of Iowa State University. My experiment with peanuts resulted in peanuts becoming a cash crop for the American South.
Hello, George. I'm Madam C.J. Walker. I perfected a hair curve formula. It is so popular with African Americans, I'm the first black female millionaire and a pioneer in the cosmetics industry. I began to go bald, so I experimented with medicines and secret ingredients. In 1905, my formula was perfected. It not only stopped my hair loss, but enabled it to grow back quickly. This formula came to me in a dream when I prayed to God to save my hair. My accomplishments paved the way for today's businesswomen.
Get the mic, we need some solos. Get the mic, we need some solos. Can I wait for our solos, please? First is, Cecilia, from right here. Okay, stay right there. Next is Ayana. Riley is not here, hold that. And then Kyra and Katie. Okay? So, Katie, since you're done, you have to try on, okay? We got plenty of time.
Education was the means of getting ahead. In college, I studied political science and law. As an attorney, I worked to improve living conditions for the poor, help fight for civil rights, and organize the largest voter registration drive in Chicago's history. This led me to run for Illinois State Senate, where I served 3 terms. I gained national attention for my speech at the 2004 Democratic National Convention and was elected to the U.S. Senate later that year. Only the fifth African American in history to serve as a senator. It was my job to create legislation. to sponsor bills, and to help pass laws. Soon I decided to run for president. I have become known as an excellent speaker and have become quite popular. I was elected President of the United States on November 4th, 2008 by winning a large margin. I was elected a second term on November 4th, 2012. In addition to my political career, I have written 2 books and received Grammy Awards for the audio version of each of them. I have also devoted a basketball player and a Chicago sports enthusiast.
Good evening, Mr. President. My name is Nelson Mandela. While not an American, I have changed the country of South Africa, and my story has inspired people all over the world. I was born in a tribal village named Lala, which means troublemaker. When I was 7, I was sent to school where my teacher made me Nelson. The government of South Africa had laws called apartheid, meant to keep blacks and whites separate. Black people lived without electric or plumbing, couldn't vote, couldn't go to school with white children, and needed special papers to travel from one town to another. Like Martin Luther King Jr., I believe in peaceful protests, and after becoming a lawyer, I began speaking out against apartheid. In 1962, I was arrested and spent the next 28 years in jail. Finally, in 1990, the new president, who was interested in the rights of black people, freed me from jail. I worked with him to make the laws fair, and in 1993, I received the Nobel Peace Prize. In 1994, South Africa had the first all-race election, and elected me the first black president of South Africa. Thank you.
Dr. King, you are a great man. I am Malcolm X. During the Civil Rights era, I gave a forceful voice to rage and frustration of Black Americans. I brazenly challenged white domination and demanded change. I helped many find self-respect and racial pride. My style and mission stood in stark contrast to the leadership of the mainstream attack. I preached self-determination of the mainstream civil rights movement that favored nonviolent protests. I affirmed fighting back if attacked. I preached that self-determination would be realized by any means necessary.
Malcolm, we have many of the same experiences. I am Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man of peace. I am a prominent civil rights leader who remains the most outstanding symbol of the movement. I am a leading organizer of the civil rights movement of 1950s and 1960s. I led the segregation of public places, abolition of legal discrimination against African Americans, and voting rights for blacks. I achieved this through nonviolent protest. I never turned back no matter the violence that would be still upon me. I was given the Nobel Peace Prize at the March on Washington, August 28, 1963. I deliver my now. I have a famous speech. The Civil Rights Act passed the following year. We should not judge people by the color of their skin, but by the contents of their character. I have a dream.
Awesome.